Hello everyone and welcome back guys to more Gran Turismo Sport, where today we're here back on for some daily races. Now I made a video about last week now talking about how 2020 I want to get good on GT Sport, and hopefully today is sort of the beginning of that journey. But I said 2020, decided to do it a little bit early because it was quite a fun combo in my opinion. It was Bathurst in the GT4 cars, or Group 4 cars as they're more commonly known, and now around Bathurst, and I think around a lot of tracks still on GT Sport, that just means even I should say it is Renault Megane territory, and that is probably what it's going to be here today. But yeah, I've got a few races to show you then from this class of cars in this combo today. Hopefully as well I'll have some Laguna Seca footage as well. I did attempt to do a race on Laguna Seca a couple of days ago and it didn't go well, is the way I'm going to describe it. So hopefully, yeah, we'll have a video from Laguna Seca and the Group 3 cars as well coming in the near future. But yeah, the Group 4s, obviously, like I said, but it basically is just the Megane show. It's all aboard the Megane train, as you probably saw at the start of this video. I think everyone in front of me, bar the pole sitter, was in the Megane, and I think there were still, sort of 3 or 4 more behind me. So we're talking 12 or 13 of the 16 cars in this race were the Meganes, and that was pretty standard by the looks of it in these lobbies. And yeah, these things, they're a little bit weird to drive, obviously. Well, they're front-wheel drive, so they're not quite like a lot of typical racing cars, but around Bathurst it does kind of work quite well, I personally think, as well, especially over this area of the circuit. You've really just got to try and hang on in there as best as possible. But yeah, the Group 4 cars, the Megane, obviously, like I said, it is front-wheel drive, so it does very much feel like you're racing a touring car on Gran Turismo Sport. Someone goes for some interesting lag, so it's definitely there's a bit of contact going on, and I know GT Sport's penalty system is pretty good, but yeah, you still allows you to get away with a little bit of contact, like we almost completely plough into the guy in front of us there, braking a little bit earlier there, not quite spotting my braking point down through the cut-in there. But yeah, it can get a little bit violent, as you're probably going to see over the course of this video. And yeah, like I said, I think it's 4, it might even be 5 races in this edit that I did, and safe to say there was action in all of them, because that's kind of what front wheel drives give you at the end of the day. But anyway, as we head on though to a lap 2, it had been quite a quiet lap 1 there. The Swede getting completely put into the wall by the Spaniard just in front of us though was going to be the first overtake we saw in this first race of the night, and I was just slowly getting into it, learning my braking points. Obviously the new updated tyre model definitely seems to affect front wheel drives more than rears in the limited experience I've had with it. I know it was quite a long time ago now that the new tyre model did release, but yeah, it certainly is still taking a bit of adapting for me to get used to there. But yeah, we are up into P7, so at least we've made some progress so far in this race, as everyone, just Constantine, is up as we head out, after Skyline through this S section before we get down in towards the cut in there. And you can see everyone just braking a little bit earlier there. I get punted. I punt the guy in front as well there, so I don't think either of us can walk away from that with a clean slate there. But yeah, that was a little bit unfortunate. We did actually lose a lot of time in that one as well. Obviously, if we'd just given the punt, then we would have probably been alright. But yeah, the punt from behind as well really did unsettle us. Neither of us, though, getting penalties. That's going to allow the Swede to potentially have a look right around the outside as we head down in towards the final few corners of the lap here. Through the chase we go. And you can see, just with the front wheel drive, struggling a little bit with the steering there, the Swede not picking a braking point that was sensible or realistic as we head down in towards the final couple of corners of the lap there. And obviously it's so easy to get it wrong through there, especially with the front wheel drive. You just understeer a bit, drift out wide, it can really just completely unsettle you, and then you can't spot. In these cars, it's just before the 150 meter board, especially after lap 1. We actually managed to pick up a half a second penalty for clipping the outside wall as we headed up the hill on to the final lap. Though it seems to all be going horribly wrong as we clip the wall a couple more times there, trying to come through towards the top of the hill. They were still getting it wrong. We wallop the wall once again there, and yeah, I have no idea what happened to us in this first race. We skimmed the inside wall as well. We end up in the gravel trap through Skyline. Only lose the one place though, rather surprisingly, but a whole lot of time as well, as we now head down in towards the other side of the hill here through the downhill section, and still getting it all wrong at the moment. Clearly just not quite got my eye in just yet at the moment there. You can see we've got a Frenchman just behind us as well. He almost runs into the back of us as we head down through the cutting, but unfortunately, yeah, that was all that would happen in that first race. We let him past, and yeah, that would be it. So 9th place as the number 2 car is not the ideal race result that we needed from the first race of the night. But we shall continue on. We shall keep it going. And we shall see where we can end up in the rest of the evening. Normally, I think the aim of these videos, should be try and learn it a couple of times. Maybe some stuff goes wrong. And then hopefully we'll have at least one good race to show for us at the end of the day. Moving on, though, into race 2. And you can see there we've actually got... starting this time out in P4. We did improve our qualifying time. I think our PB in this combo was like a 2 minutes 13.1. We had pace for like a mid 2 minute 12, but I just kept getting it wrong. And I mean, top guys were sort of running low 11, so only about, theoretically a second and a half off, in all honesty. I have no idea what happened at the top of the hill. I think the Italian, I don't know if he was the punter or the punted, but he's got away with that penalty. The other guy did get a penalty. I think that was, again, the Swede. Not quite getting the luck of the draw there, as we make a big lock up in towards the uphill section here. And you can see not quite the line we needed there. Luckily, we don't lose any places this time around. We have got an Englishman just behind us as we head up towards the top of the mountain here. And you can see the Italian just in front, still struggling at the moment there with a bit of pace. And obviously, like a lot of these very tight, technically this is a street circuit, in air quotes. It's obviously a road course as well, whichever way around you want to call it. But yeah, it is a public road. Obviously a very tight public road as well there, as we try to almost go side by side in towards the skyline there. But yeah, unfortunately, not quite able to make it work that time round as we head down the other side there. But yeah, we picked up a 2-second time penalty for that as well, which was rather frustrating as we get punted into the wall by the Frenchman behind us as he picks up a 2-second time penalty. And yeah, this is touring car-esque, I think is the right way to describe it, or Australian supercars, to be fair. They're known for the bump and runs as well. But yeah, unfortunately, that's obviously going to mean we're going to lose quite a few places in this race. You can see everyone flying past us. This guy, we were trying to, we quite clearly picked our side of the road. He decided to go on the grass and give himself a 1-second penalty by almost putting me in a wall. Someone else almost runs into the back of us as well. I think that's the UAE, as someone else, a Spaniard, I think, is flying up the inside of an RCF as we head down in through the chase, even I should say, towards the end of lap 1. And yeah, I mean, we started this one in P3 and we're already down to P10, so it's certainly not been the opening lap that we needed here. And yeah, we're the number 1 car for this race, so it's probably not been the ideal opening lap as we try to have a look right around the outside of the RCF through the final corner. I'm pretty certain that thing's rear-wheel drive, so struggling a bit. Able to get the power down much earlier than him as we head down over the start-finish line there. A bit of contact going on between the two in front of us, and we almost tried to go 3 wide on the exit of turn 1, but as we head up the hill, don't think there's going to be much opportunity to go for that. Just the UAE man struggling a bit there. The Brit, not too sure what's happened to him, why he's going so slowly up here, but we'll go around him. Purple as we head up towards the top of the hill there, but braking a bit earlier than the pair. We've got the Swissman on the inside. He bumps the UAE on the outside there, and we're able to slip past him as well. So patience is definitely key in the McGans as well. Like I said, it is just so reminiscent of touring cars. There's a lot of contact in these races, and sometimes that works quite well. GT Sports handling model is a little bit funny, personally, from personal experience. It sort of works for contact, but it also doesn't really like it as well. But it's sort of weird because it's not a particularly strict, obviously there's not a strict damage model to it either, so it just kind of is a bit odd at the end of the day. You can't have contact, but if you do, it's not that bad, but it sort of is. It doesn't, really add up in personal experience here. But as we head through Skyline, they're getting very, very optimistic as we head down the hill. Might have picked up another penalty. Yeah, another 1-second penalty for ignoring track limits. That is exactly what we wanted to see there. Not too sure how you can cut as we head through the S section there, but we've done it again, and we're going to pick up another 1-second penalty in this race here. So how many places are we going to lose this time round? You can see the Spaniard just behind us there, just pretty much a second behind us, but obviously it's going to cost us all the run down the straight as well there. And yeah, the RCF gets back past us. I think that's going to be the only place we're going to lose, though, just there. So I guess we can take that as a positive. We've only lost the 1 place at the moment. There you can see, yeah, the Brit and the Arab just behind us there, still quite a way back. And as we head out onto the final lap, we had closed up the gap ever so slightly to the Spaniard. Maybe we can try and go for something in the dying stages of this race. You can see the track does get really overcast as well as you head towards the end of these races here. But yes, we head down the straight once more in towards the chase one final time in race 2. Can we get, any sort of recovery from this race. So we're going to try and look up the inside of the Lexus there. Brake just at the 150 meter board. Try and get it slowed down nicely through the gears. We're still side by side, giving the room on the outside as we head in towards the final couple of corners there. And yeah, unfortunately we get caught out on the grass there. And unfortunately, yeah, we're going to be a bit far back, in my personal opinion, to go for a lunge in towards the final corner. I've seen others do it before, but it's not quite our style at the moment. We're not that desperate for overtakes just yet in this race there. So that's going to be P8 in the second attempt here. You can see McGann, an F-Type, and then more McGanns, and then the RCF just in front of us here. So yeah, only 3 different cars inside the top 14, and 11 of those are McGanns. Really does go to show perhaps, yeah, a balance of performance update is needed on GT Sport. But anyway, though, let's jump in to the third attempt then, and this time out, starting up in P2. Now, yeah, that might sound like a good thing. That was because I lost so much driver rating doing this so far. I think we're down to about 27, 28k. And yeah, really, I'd love to try and make it to A+, which is, I think, 50,000, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that might be the dream in 2020. But it is lights out, and away we go once again here. Can we potentially win this one? Starting P2, obviously Slipstream is quite powerful on GT Sport. You've got about a 1.5 second Slipstream zone on this game. So yeah, we'll wait and see there. And that's hopefully going to make it a whole lot easier for us, as the leader, the pole man, completely runs wide through T1 now. Almost puts himself into the wall. And yeah, that is a straight up into the lead of the racer. And now we need to try and build up a little bit of a margin as best as possible here. But look how strong the Slipstream is already. He's starting to make gains on us once again as we head towards the top of the hill there, and he's going to go for a complete send up the inside there, and run me out wide into the wall as well. Not too sure what I'd done there to annoy him so much, but yeah, we're going to get absolutely swamped as we head up the hill. A Corvette getting involved this time round. Haven't seen one of those in these races so far there, as we just run wide over the drainage on the outside there, and that's going to allow another McGann, a very oddly painted McGann, to slip around the outside. We are side by side as we head through the chicane there. He picks up a half-second penalty. Not too sure how. I'm guessing that was prior, but yeah, he slips past as well. So we're all the way down to P5 from pole position there in the space of about half a minute in this race. So that was rather frustrating as we head in towards Skyline for the first time in this race. And yeah, slowly but surely, we'd learned that the qualifying pace, although there's technically no tyre wear of this, I don't think, although that it's not shown on the graphic. It's a bit odd to you because you do have to brake earlier in the races. Yeah, you just don't quite get the optimum grip and everything like that. As we head down through the cut, for the first time in this race, we might be able to get quite a good little run on the exit there. Obviously, the German just in front of us has got a half-second penalty, so he won't really be able to do anything to defend from us there as well. You can see, yeah, he's obviously just going to be able to fly straight past him and back up into P4 of this race. So 2 seconds back from the leader, though, and that certainly isn't far back at the moment. Potentially, if those top two have quite a good little battle, we could see ourselves fighting for the win here as we brake at the 150 meter board. They're not quite making the same mistake as the Corvette in front, but certainly not quite the run we needed in towards the final couple of corners anywhere there. He's going to go defensive, the Italian, in towards the final braking zone there. We're going to brake pretty much just after the 100 meter board there, and he's going to slot up the inside. Unfortunately, Croatian, I think that was, out of nowhere, completely just sends me into the wall, and yeah, that's going to be us looking like potentially another good result. Is going to get completely ruined before it's even begun, and went down to P9 by the end of lap 1 here. So really not quite getting the luck of the draw at the moment in these races, but we will continue on. We will try to survive the rest of this race. And you can see by the end of lap 2, RCF, sorry, not an RCF, I can't remember what they're called now, RCZ, I think, running a bit slowly as we head down in towards the cut now. I think he had a half-second penalty, and that thing doesn't quite have the legs down the straight anyway there. So we do move ourselves back up into P7 here. Slow but steady progress. It's one of the things that kind of annoys me about these races. I wish they were sort of 4 or 5 laps. 3 is just a little bit too short, in my personal opinion there. But you can see the end of lap 2, though, only 1/10 of a second off the fastest lap so far. So we've clearly got some okay pace in the car at the moment there, as we try to go slow and fast out on the German just in front of us here. Are we able to get a run as we head up the hill here? It's going to be pretty much a drag race as we head up the straight there. Short shifting ever so slightly. I've definitely learnt my lesson. You've really got to try and stretch the gears out as best as possible in these races as we head up towards the top of the hill, in towards turn 2. They brake pretty much at the 100 meter board there, and the Renault on the inside is just going to run me out a little bit wide there. Unfortunately, we weren't very confident going side by side as well there. We've got a Russian now trying to look round the outside. We're surely not going to bail out of that one. No, we do not. And yeah, we hold on to P7 at the moment here, as we've still got half a lap to go here, and are we going to be able to get close enough to go for anything? We've got another car running slowly just in front there, and that is, yeah, the other German in the horribly painted Megane as we head down the hill. So that's us back up into P6 of the race here, and now you can see we're only half a second back from the guy in front. There's a little bit of battling going on up in front. Maybe we see something as we head down through the chase one final time there, but unfortunately, yeah, once again, nothing really happening this time round there. And luckily, I guess we can take it as a positive that we beat the Croatian that just completely sent us into the wall. I'm taking that as a positive at the end of the day. But as we come through the final corner, it's P6 in another race there. So I don't think in any race so far we've made progress on our grid position yet. It's really not been the race, the races that we wanted so far this evening there. But yeah, we do come through for P6 in the third race of the night. There are a couple of Corvettes actually getting into the mix there. The RCZ, the F-Type. Actually quite a mix towards the rear of the field. We've got a GTR, a 650S, a V8 Vantage, and a RCF there. So that's what, 6 cars? 7 cars in this lobby. 8 cars technically if you include the 2 Corvettes that aren't Meganes. Who would have thought it? Perhaps the Megane is doomed in these races from now on. But yeah, we will jump in though to the 4th and final race of the night there. And I'll be honest, at this point, I just wanted a clean race. You know, I'd had so many bad races so far, you know, being punted, making small mistakes, everything like that. It had been quite tough on on everything in these races. But one final go though, you can see starting in P3 for this one there, we've got a Russian and a Finnish man just in front of us, I think, in this third and final one. I'm pretty certain, yeah, that is the Finnish flag as we head up in towards turn 2 there. And yeah, hopefully we can have one good race tonight. We will wait and see though. You can see we're already starting to build up a little bit of a margin to the guy behind you. You can see just getting so close to that off-camber bit on the outside there. You've really got to just stay on the inside of the white line through there. Or it's understeer city in the front-wheel drives. Rear-wheel drive, you might be able to get away with it a bit more, but yeah, front-wheel drive, you're either this side of it or you're heading straight towards that outside wall at the end of the day there. You can see the 2 guys just up in front of us, though, running a little bit slowly, starting to trip each other up. The Frenchman behind has actually been able to get himself back up towards all of us there. And that corner just before Skyline, I definitely felt quite confident. I felt like I could take a lot of speed through there. And then as we just head down the hill, it's that horrible balance between speed and just keeping it nice and tidy. Not short shifting down into second anymore. I just don't think the engine brake's worth it as we head down the hill. You can see the Russian thinking about having a look up for a move up the inside of the Finishman there. We slammed the door a little bit late on the Frenchman there, but I was trying to go for a late apex, and it really hasn't worked out for us as we head down the hill there. But luckily we are still in the slipstream of the 2 guys in front of us here. And as we head out towards the end of lap 2 here, the final lap of the race there, setting the fastest lap actually so far of the evening here as we head through turn 1. And are we able to get any sort of run as we head up the hill there? It looks like the Finishman has actually been able to get quite a good run on the Russian there. A little bit of weaving as we head up the straight there, but nothing all too much as well there is. Yeah, we're trying to make this a bit of a 3-way battle as we head up the hill there. We're going to get right up behind the power there. You can see that beautiful little sports exhaust as we head up the hill there. But the Russian a bit late on the brakes there. The Finishman still somehow punting him in towards the braking zone there. We're going to go for a little bit of a touring car to shift ourselves up the inside of him as we head up the hill there. We thought about going for a move on the Russian as well, but I think that would have been optimistic at the best of times there as we get a punt in the rear as we head up the hill there. And I'm not taking that from the Finishman there. We just about slammed the door shut in front of him there. We were lucky that we didn't actually cut him off and put ourselves both in the wall there. But yeah, we're now up into P2 of the race. We are actually the number 3 car here, so we could be gaining some driver rating in this third and final race of the night there as we head out in towards Skyline here for the final time tonight. I'll be able to get a good run through, really trying to open up the track on the entry there, just coast it through in 4th gear there, down into 3rd, try and keep it towards those curbs there, and then luckily someone's got rid of the cone so we can ride it wall to wall through the final couple of parts there. And as we head now down in towards the cutting, we need to get a good run through here, trying to open up the best run we possibly can through the corner there, and that's exactly what we've done. The Russian has not got a particularly good run there, so this could be an opportunity to finally take home a race victory here in tonight's racing there. The Russian holds it on the left-hand side. They're not too sure why he's done that. I don't know if we were running a bit too much downforce in this car as well. They were struggling a little bit with the top end with people. We're going to pretty much be side by side as we head through the chase there. We ride the curbs, try to give him the room there. He's still on the inside there. The finishman out of nowhere tries to have a look around the outside. That was certainly going to be a bit of an optimistic move as we head down in towards the final couple of corners there. But the Russian slightly later on the brakes, has held on for it for now. We're going to have to try and bait towards the inside, in towards the final braking zone there. He keeps it nice and tidy. We're going to try and take the curb, give ourselves the better run through the final corner, and we have done so there. It's going to be side by side up towards the line, but unfortunately it's not quite enough in the end there. But it is P2 in the final race of the night there. Just a 1/10 of a second between us in the end. And Renault Megans, well, I mean, Renault Megans, if you include that trophy, taking up the top 12 places in that final race of the night. Yeah, the Renault Megane is certainly not dead in these Bathurst races just yet, but they were quite good fun on the whole. We finally got a clean race in there at the end. Definitely felt I'd learned quite a lot. You know, it had been a good month since I last raced on GT Sport, but thank you all so much for watching this video nonetheless. Do get yourself subscribed, and hopefully I will see you guys next time for another video.